What's up, Cheesecake Nation? It's your old pal Supercharged Funk and Dave blasting at ya. And this is our very first movie review. Basically, we just finished watching a movie. Come sit here, talk about it.
Alright, first and foremost, we're going to do just a real basic one, no spoilers. And then we'll get into spoilers later in the video. We'll give a warning, so if you haven't seen it yet, you can still watch the review up until a certain point. Alright, so I guess we'll start out with our first impressions going in.
By the way, in case you guys couldn't tell, this is for Guardians of the Galaxy. But, now, obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy is a fairly new franchise, fairly new IP. Marvel hasn't... I mean, with
It's
these
an old
characters...
one. Yeah.
I mean, the ones we know today is fairly new. I mean, you have to be pretty well into comic books to know who they all are, you know, all their backstories and stuff. You know, people, you know, who aren't really into comics have absolutely no idea who they are.
Yeah, I think Marvel's done a pretty good job leading into this movie with, like, rebranding them. They've been in all their cartoons pretty much. They've been pretty much pumping them into a lot of stuff. They're doing events in the comics with them. So, I mean, even if you're, like, a very low-level comic book fan, it's still something you kind of have a little bit of a grip on, especially now. Like, they did a really good job promoting this movie, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it was just weird seeing the fact that, you know, when they first announced this movie, it was like, really? This soon? You know, like...
Well, I think the big thing was Marvel is going to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and DC still hasn't done a Wonder Woman movie. That's pretty sketchy. There's no fans or buts about it. But all right, let's get into the review itself now.
Oh my God! Like, it was fantastic.
Yes, I also highly recommend going to see it. Even if you're not like a real big comic book fan, if you're just a fan of like basic sci-fi, I would caution a little bit about if you think like you see the raccoon, you see the tree guy, you're like, oh, this looks like a lot of fun for the family. It's not bad, but I would definitely caution you if you've got like little...
Yeah. It is PG-13, so there's that.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a pretty hard PG-13.
Yeah.
The language in it surprised me, in all honesty.
Yeah, there's a little bit more swearing. A few shits here and there.
Yeah.
But, they didn't do too bad, but again, it's...
Yeah. The violence is very toned down, though, which, if you guys have seen Captain America the Winter Soldier, you know what Marvel was doing.
Yeah.
And this is still pretty brutal, but definitely toned down a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it's kind of more cartoony. Like, everybody kind of uses, like, stun weapons, pretty much. So...
Yeah. And the fight scenes weren't too bad.
No, not bad at all. But, I guess we'll...
It was not disappointing, to say the least. It was... Yeah. And when there wasn't a lot of action going on, it was a laugh a minute. Like, almost every character, aside of maybe Gamora, had, like, a lot of, like, memorable lines. Even she had memorable lines, but
Out of
they
the
weren't,
base
like...
5, you should clarify.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the side characters kind of felt like they didn't have a whole lot of time. Like, Ronan was kind of rushed, I felt a little bit. I really like Nebula, even though she didn't really have a whole lot of screen time. If you're going in here excited to see Thanos...
He was there?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, yeah, Thanos! But, you know, the little glint of Thanos we finally got was pretty nice.
Yeah, we get 2 scenes of Thanos, and I think it has a combined screen time of, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, so,
But,
I think from here on out, we're getting into spoilers territory, so real quick, I definitely recommend, I would give it probably an 8.5 out of 10.
yeah, same with me. I'll probably... 8.5, 9 out of 10, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, this is the time to click out of the video, come back whenever
Yeah, definitely.
you've seen it.
Right now we're going to talk about some of our favorite parts of the movie, things that you're going to want to see for yourself. So,
Yeah.
turn it off, shut off the video, go watch it. Go watch it now.
Yeah.
Go do it. Alright, so...
Alright, let's do this as a compliment sandwich. Something good, something you wanted to see changed, another something good. So you can go first if you want.
Alright, something good. Well, one of my things that I really thought was going to get hindered was the use of Groot. Like, I was thinking, oh, they're just gonna have him like lumber around, oh, he shoots little, flower. But they used his powers, like, very well. Exceptionally well, and I was very happy with that. Very much. Like, Groot was definitely there, and you felt him.
Yeah.
But...
something you'd like to see changed?
Oh, God,
Or something you yourself would not have put into the movie, either one?
I would not have put in?
Well, either way, something you'd like to see changed.
I think you and I both agree that the Nova Corps is in this movie, but they're more like police officers, and they weren't like superheroes.
Yeah. They don't feel like superheroes. They just kind of feel like fighter pilots. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but... I mean, you're the Nova Corps. Wear your bucket helmets and fly around.
Yeah. A couple of the guys had helmets. They looked okay, but they just didn't, like... they're like, oh, it's the Nova Corps. That's cool, but they didn't have that same feeling that they should have had. I don't know, but... definitely.
Another compliment if you...
All the characters, like, they synergize them very well.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are going to say, oh, Rocket stole the show. And, oh, no, Star-Lord stole the show. Out of those two, like, they were the most that stood out. But all 5 of the characters together stood out very well. They all synergized well. They all had memorable lines. And they were all enjoyable characters. Like, at first I thought they were gonna, like, kind of push Drax and Gamora to the side. And, I mean, obviously, the main stars of the show were Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot. But they also did a good job of keeping Drax and Gamora, like, within the group. And they all, like I said, all had memorable lines. Very well remembered throughout the entire movie. I think they did a good job of keeping them as a team. It isn't just Star-Lord the movie or Rocket Raccoon and Groot the movie. I like that a lot, and I was very pleased with that.
Alright, going on to my sandwich. My first thing I really noticed, and like the big thing, is 2 of your 5 main characters aren't actually on screen. They're completely CGI characters in Groot and Rocket, and it's done so well. I mean, my God, it looked well done. Like, the part at the end with Drax petting Rocket, like his ears are moving in time with him, and everything just looks perfect. Like, you can almost forget they're not there.
Oh yeah, the CG for Rocket was great.
Oh, him and Groot. I mean, they both came out really good. Because usually when I start getting into a movie, I can kind of notice when the CG gets a little choppy, and they use a lot of like camera shake. Like, if you've seen Man of Steel, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh God.
When they just kind of substitute in the cheap shit to save money. And this one definitely did. It was amazing. It was beautiful all the way through. All the sets were beautiful.
Definitely see it in 3D. It's not a must, but the 3D definitely enhanced it, for me at least.
Especially in that opening scene.
Oh, absolutely.
The opening scene of them on that geyser planet, or whatever it was.
Technically, the actual opening scene was not expected. Like, the whole,
like, very sad.
Very sad, like, fucking, like, Lion King level sad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Take my hand.
Oh my God, like, I'm like, are they really doing this? And then they cut to, 26 years later, where Star-Lord's walking along a planet. He's, he's got, like, the big things, a very big symbol in the movie where it was Star-Lord's cassette player, because it was a gift from his mom, and, she made him a mixtape, and throughout the entire movie, like, he's listening to it, he's dancing, as he's walking, and, like, that for him is, like, all he's got left of his mom and his old life. Because the whole deal is he was abducted when he was just a little kid. And so that's, like, the one thing he's got of his mom. And that plays throughout the entire movie. And, it's, like, the one thing he has that he can't let go. And, I don't know, that was pretty cool. Like, I mentioned this earlier with Dave, but the music that you hear is almost entirely songs from his playlist on his playlist.
Well, his mixtape.
His mixtape, yeah. And it doesn't fit, obviously, because it's big action sci-fi, and you hear all these like '80s like pop songs, but they make them like fit into it, which you ease into that, and you're like, yeah, I'm liking this. You know, you kind of want to groove along to it.
Well, there's a lot of late '80s pop culture references in the movie, the Kevin Bacon stuff.
Oh my god, like. Oh, Kevin Bacon, like, there's one of my favorite parts. You're gonna hear a lot of, this is one of my favorite parts about this. But, there's a part where he's talking to Gamora about where he comes from, and just a little bit about himself, and he talks, and she wants to know, like, what, you know, the cassette player's for, and he talks about music, and he references Footloose, like it's an epic journey legend. Like it's his planet's version of the Iliad and the Odyssey kind of thing. And the great hero Kevin Bacon teaches the world to love through music. It's pretty funny.
Alright, so getting back to my poop sandwich, if you will. I kind of have two layers I like to put in the middle, and then a slice of small poo cheese. My first kind of little complaint, and it's not a major one, but if I had to say one character was really weak, it was not, in fact, Dave Bautista's Drax the Destroyer. Zoe Saldana's Gamora just kind of, she didn't really come off as a badass. And when you're playing the deadliest woman in space, or deadliest woman in the galaxy, whichever one you want to call Gamora, she just, I don't know. After, I would say right around that Kevin Bacon scene, she just kind of became Star-Lord's girlfriend.
Yeah, she kind of lost her. Like, I guess they even kind of, like, Nebula kind of even pointed that out. She kind of, like...
She kind of got toned way down.
Yeah.
I guess they were worried that she'd become too much like Drax. Even Drax was really toned down in this movie, which is kind of weird. Because, like, the language is, like I said, a very hard PG-13. But a lot of, like, the fighting, other than one scene with Groot, where he just murdered some people.
Best scene in the whole fucking movie. Oh my god, alright, where they get...
Well, they've seen it. They're watching the spoiler review. I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. Groot puts his tree tentacle through a bunch of people and slams them into the walls. Other than that, a lot of the other, like, real fighting, it kind of feels very toned down. I don't know if they were worried if something had happened with Cap 2, the Winter Soldier, which had really brutal fight scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was something they had got warned about, that, we'll give it to you this time, but you definitely have to tone it down if you want to keep that PG-13 rating. Because, when you had Cap stabbing people through the hands and slamming their heads into walls and shooting people, you just kind of walk that line.
Yeah, it wasn't too brutal in this movie. Like, there was some...
Yeah, outside of that one scene, I'm trying to think of anything else that was particularly brutal.
I don't know. There really wasn't too much. It was the thing where, like... I don't know, like, there really wasn't any blood at all.
Yeah, I think of it. Not really.
It was mostly pretty dry.
Yeah, you had the one with the ship crushed the Nova Corps leader.
Yeah.
And him, like, screaming before he died, but even that was kind of, like, a little hokey.
Yeah.
My other kind of, like, the cheesy layer in between, just something that's a personal nitpick of me. The Stan Lee cameo in this movie is kind of weak.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be in the movie at all. Like, that was his original plans. He wasn't even going to be in it.
Yeah, I guess, but...
It's pretty cool that we at least got it. But...
And the other one I kind of had... Well, there are some pretty cool little references. I really wish that they had given the Collector a few more, like, really cool things that could have been there.
Yeah.
Things that only your diehard fans would know. Like, I don't even care what you put in there. Like... Even if you just put, like, random things in there just to hint at, like, future movies. Like, put Kang's time chair in there. Whatever. Doctor Strange cloak. Just something random in there. Put... I don't care. Like, literally, you could have put anything cool in there. Just random one-off things, and it's a little weak. You see the Dark Elf from Thor the Dark World was in there. That's kind of cool. Cosmo. If you guys didn't know, that's the dog in the spacesuit. But other than that, really not a whole lot in the Collector's collection that I saw. Maybe there was stuff in the background that I just missed, but I didn't really see a whole lot, which kind of made me sad. And not to kind of pile on to that collector thing, but the Infinity Gem in this movie was an awful lot like the Infinity Gem in Thor: The Dark World, minus a palette swap.
Yeah.
It was a cloud of superpower. I mean, I feel like it was used a lot better in this movie because you definitely felt like a threat was coming, whereas in like Thor: The Dark World, at no point did Thor really seem like he had to fight seriously. He just like swinging his hammer and whooping ass. Another thing I liked, just to kind of complete my sandwich with something I did like, John C. Reilly in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I think-
unexpected gem, John C. Reilly.
He did a really good job. He doesn't have a whole lot of screen time in the movie, but he definitely delivers in the short amount he's on there.
Yeah.
Glenn Close seems, I don't know, maybe she just was asked to do it and she had like limited time schedule or something, because she's really not in it very much, and when she is, she's mostly just standing around looking concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. I'm not even really sure why they called her Nova Prime. That's the thing I saw. She didn't have world mind or anything.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Anything else you really want to say about it? I mean, I really enjoyed it. I know it sounded like I had a lot of things to complain about when you really listen to them. Small, stupid stuff.
Yeah. That was the one good thing about this movie, is that, not a whole lot of major complaints.
No, not at all.
I mean, especially from comic book fans. You know, I don't think most comic book fans are going to find too much to nitpick about.
Yeah.
It was such an enjoyable experience. We will probably end up seeing it again to take, like, our other friends that haven't seen it.
I do have one request for the people in the comment section. If you do know whether or not that was supposed to be the space or the reality gem, I believe the reality gem is the light blue. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head. I haven't looked it up. And the purple would be the space gem. But, I don't know, it just felt like it was the reality gem the way they used it in the movie. But who knows, maybe when they get to the reality gem, they'll make it freaking ridiculous. Because it did seem like he was kind of bending space-time, so it could have been the space gem, but who knows. If you guys do, though, leave me a comment. But,
I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to add.
if you guys leave us some comments, we'll keep doing them. I mean, Ninja Turtles comes out next week. Definitely going to go see it. If you guys like reviews on things, we'll keep doing them. I know at the end of the year, I'm definitely going to go see Big Hero 6. I'm a big fan of them. I think I'm like one of the very, very few people that have their one-shot. I don't have the original one with, like, the Silver Samurai and I think he's called the Ebon Samurai or something, takes over and Sunfire's on the team and all that. I have the later one that's pretty much based on the team. Well, the team in the movie is going to be based off of this version somewhat. I mean, obviously they're giving it a very Disney touch.
Yeah.
With the Balloon Man and have you seen the picture of what they all look like? They all have like weird power armor. It looks like Power Rangers.
Oh, really? I have not seen that one.
Awesome.
I'll check that out. But yeah, it's Disney's doing a pretty good job with these. And that was kind of when I first started doing Big Hero 6, like, I know about them because I'm a comic book fan. I mean, this guy here, he's a comic book expert of DFC. You know, I mean, if I don't know something, he most certainly definitely will. And if he doesn't, well, then we will find out very soon.
Yeah.
But, obviously going into this, you know, he probably knows a lot more than I do. And going into Ninja Turtles,
It'll be the opposite.
that's my thing. Ninja Turtles is definitely my thing. And, but yeah, definitely check out Guardians of the Galaxy, guys. It is a treat. It is an absolute treat. If you don't know anything about comics whatsoever, go see it anyway. It's a great sci-fi movie.
Yeah, if you have like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, definitely go see it. Don't worry about it so much. But if your kids are a little bit on the younger side, and you're like, oh, I think they'll really like it. This movie's kind of dark, surprisingly dark, which the trailers don't really show off too much.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, it can be a laugh a minute whenever, like, even during like some of the action scenes. It's really funny.
And for those of you guys who hung out to this part of the video, I'm immediately at the end of the movie, and that'll be the Groot scene. I'm not going to spoil it, just in case, like, for whatever reason, you're one of those people that goes to see as a Marvel movie and you're like, oh, credits, I can leave now.
Yeah, neither of the after scenes have anything to do with future movies, anything like that.
Yeah.
So, if you don't care, then you can go ahead and miss out on it, but they're both enjoyable. I mean, if you're comic book fans, they're enjoyable.
Yeah, if you're, especially the second scene.
We're not going to spoil who it is. Like, some of you guys probably already know, because there's a big rumor flying around about a particular character that is supposed to have a cameo.
Yeah, and if you've been a big fan of Marvel movies since the beginning, you'll know exactly who we're talking about.
Wink, wink. That's a clue for all you fans out there.
But,
so, yeah, that part was, like, because you almost... I mean, like I said, if you knew about the rumor, you were going to be looking for him, and at the end of the movie, you know, you're like, oh, I guess he's not going to be in it, and then he's there, and you're like, ha, it's awesome. But, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add. Like I said, it's just a great movie. Definitely one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. It was just...
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I heard this movie was coming out, the first thing that came to my mind was tech demo to show us what the new Star Wars are going to look like. And to an extent, I kind of got a feeling that's what this was, really.
Yeah.
But for a tech demo, it was pretty damn amazing. Like, the sets, beautiful, costumes, a little weak sometimes.
Yeah. CG, like we said, amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing CG.
The scenes in space, they definitely feel weightless. Just, like, the special effects are so well done in these movies. Like, my only real complaint was kind of like their costumes, but I kind of got a feeling they wanted that minimalistic kind of look.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know.
But the characters, more importantly, were the... like, they did absolutely wonderful job representing the characters. And, like, at first, because the only time we've ever heard Rocket's voice was in, like, two things. You heard him in... The very first time Rocket ever had a voice was in, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And he had, like, a British voice. And then he had another British voice in, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I think that was because his name is based off of a Beatles song, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I actually kind of liked that. And I was kind of skeptical. It's like, I always thought the British voice kind of gave him a little bit more of a character.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I mean, there were the early rumors they were trying to get Jason Statham.
Yeah. But voice. Bradley Cooper did an amazing job.
Yeah.
He, like... Rocket was... Like, everybody knows they were going to try to, like, push Rocket to be, like, sort of, like...
The mascot of the team.
The mascot of the franchise.
Yeah, they want him to be this team's Hulk, pretty much.
And he nails it, man.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about, we mentioned Dave Bautista, we thought was going to be the weak link.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him in Man with the Iron Fist, which, I may be wrong, but I think that's, like, his first major... role in a movie where he played Brass Body. I thought he did really good there, but he's definitely far and away steps up in this.
Oh yeah, like, and it was just so weird to think, you know, that this is, you know, what this movie was going to be, because nobody knew if this movie was going to be good or not, because it's such an unknown for the most part, and it's easily one of, if not the best movie of the summer.
Yeah.
Definitely see it. If you're a comic book fan, you're a sci-fi fan, if you just want to see a good movie, go see Guardians of the Galaxy. 2 thumbs up, big 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I got an 8.5. A couple little minor issues, nothing major. But I think we'll wrap up our video here with one final thing. They said at the end credits, the Guardians of the Galaxy will return. 3 things you'd like to see in the sequel.
Oh God, well, more Thanos would be nice.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're building them up for Avengers 3.
Yeah.
Or Avengers sequel to be released at a later date.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think, like, some of the other characters maybe that are supposed to be part of Guardians might show up.
Well, like a Moondragon Mantis?
Yeah, you know, maybe even Adam Warlock at some point. He'd be kind of cool, because he's like, obviously, if any of you guys have ever read, you know, the Infinity Crisis.
But I mean, that's a different team. That's Infinity Watch.
I know, but still.
I mean, it's effectively the same team. I mean, Adam Warlock's on both teams. Drax is on both teams, even though it's kind of a...
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those characters that's prolific throughout, like, the conflict with Thanos.
Well, I mean, I think you need the High Evolutionary.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool if he was in the next one. I mean,
any minor, small things you like to see in the next one?
Not really. I mean...
See, you're obviously getting more characters and more Thanos, you're good.
Pretty much, like this movie, like, far exceeded my expectations. I don't know what else I would want.
All right,
to be honest.
All right, first and foremost, I really like this movie, but scale-wise, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you can kind of break this whole movie down to 4 sets, which I understand the limitations of a movie, but I don't know, like, I never got that feeling watching a Star Wars. Like, I never felt like I was in a really small set. In this movie, I just didn't feel like it expanded, but I mean, it is introducing the characters, it kind of has to keep it smaller. So expand outward. Definitely. Show us a lot of, like, new craziness. I also agree, new characters. Adam Warlock, personal favorite of mine. I would love to see him. I would love to see him go into Avengers 3 or Avengers sequel later. Thanos Infinity Saga, whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised we haven't, like... I mean, obviously, Thanos didn't really explain any of, like, his plans or anything. And,
well, I mean, I'm sure that's what they're leading towards.
Yeah.
Infinity Gauntlet. And I guess I would say the last thing I'd really like to see is just more Rocket and Groot. I mean, their scenes together were amazing, but they're kind of short, and I just feel like they need bursts. More. Yeah, I feel like they needed more time alone. Like, the movie has a long run time. I'm sure you guys watch the spoiler review know. I mean, it didn't really feel like it dragged on, but it felt like it could have used more scenes, but I don't know what you would have cut. Because, like, it just felt like after they lost Star-Lord and Gamora, that you could have really used some scenes in there of just Rocket and Groot. A little bit of Drax here and there, but those two characters just kind of...
Yeah, you know, they came up with this whole plan, you know, like, it would have been cool to have Rocket kind of, like, take charge and, like, come up with the plan, you know, while he's, like, trying to collect himself and just, like, trying to figure out what he's got to do.
And on top of that, make Gamora a little bit, give her a harder edge.
Yeah.
But alright guys, I think we're going to wrap it there. We'll be back next week, I guess, to do Ninja Turtles. And we both definitely recommend the movie, and I think that'll wrap it up.
Alright guys, well, thanks so much again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so that you guys can become a member of the Cheesecake Nation today. I'm Supercharged Funk.
I'm Dip.
And thanks for watching our very first movie review, guys. Peace out.
Later.